Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently defending this base. They've been focusing on this medium military building. It still has 230 hit points, and we've shot down a helicopter over here. Well, technically the allied Mjolnir shot it down, and we've destroyed a hunchback over here. The Vanguard has been destroyed, and we've got 6 rounds to take out the remaining units here. So they've got the Dragoon attack VTOL, and it's got 7 evasive right now. They've got this Pegasus over here with 8 evasive that we're probably going to ignore for the moment. This Nighthawk, which has a softened rear arc that we would love to get behind with our Centaur. And then there's this Zhukov and the Valkyrie 2. The Thunderbolt is probably going to be the easiest thing to hit here. The question is, who do we shoot at with our artillery? Nobody's particularly clustered together here. We could fire at the Nighthawk, and if we did this, there is a chance, depending on what's in this torso, that the artillery destroys it. I don't know what's in the torso, and the artillery would have to hit behind the Nighthawk, so it's a pretty low chance, but we can give it a go.
Engage.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Like I said, it was a low chance. I'm not shocked about that. At the very least, we softened up this front arc quite a lot. There's like 1 hit point left in that left torso front arc. So that's potentially a solid target for us to take down. In which case, we would likely engage the Centaur behind the Valkyrie 2 in the next round, although I don't think we could melee at that distance. The Thunderbolt is taking a fair amount of damage there in the front arc. That's okay. Next up would be our crossbow, and we need to decide who we want the crossbow to attack. So there's a Dragoon attack VTOL here. That thing has a lot of evasive still. We could go for the Nighthawk, which is a decent target. I think that the Nighthawk is the ideal target here.
Have some of this.
Engine destruction, torso destruction, Nighthawk is down. Fantastic. So, I'm pretty sure that happened because it had an XL engine. The Stalker moves forward here, which is actually very good for us, and hits the front arc of that Zhukov. So, the front arc of the Zhukov is significantly weakened, particularly on the left side, which is unfortunately the side up over here. So that's fine for us, I suppose. The Grasshopper is going to sprint into about here, but it doesn't have very clear shots on much of anything, except for maybe pot-shotting this Dragoon. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be really sad if we stray shot our Centaur. This is a pot shot, and we're not really expecting to get any hits out of this. We got a couple. We'll take it. I was hoping for the AC-20 to just immediately shoot it down, but that's fine. So the Thunderbolt is absolutely taking a lot of damage in its front arc there. We should have our turrets getting online eventually. These guys might make it to the escort zone this round. Maybe. The Shadowhawk should sprint forward here and get as much evasive as it can, which isn't a ton. I'm just wondering about who our target here should end up being. Honestly, the hit odds are best on the Thunderbolt. And that's what we're going to take. Quite a lot of hits out in that torso. Okay. That seems absolutely okay. The Thunderbolt is definitely beginning to weaken from all of that. Next up, the Thunderbolt steps forward, which is good for us, and it fires on the Stalker, which is also good for us. I would like to see that Stalker get destroyed.
Commander?
Our Black Knight can step forward to... I don't like this position. I guess here is okay.
Got it, Commander.
And from here we can fire on the Dragoon with 27% hit odds, 52 on the Zhukov. The Valk has 40, and the Thunderbolt has 60 for the large laser. But we can't fire any of the smaller weapons. I honestly think we pot-shot this Dragoon. I want to soften it up. Okay, that definitely does remove some armor from its front arc there. I like it. So, if we look at that, yeah, there's definitely been some reduction there. Next up is going to be the Zhukov. I would love to see it go after the Stalker. Ooh. Okay, that's only a structure exposure. I was hoping that the Stalker would be destroyed by that, but the Stalker's really close to being destroyed. Okay. We could get into rear arc of the Zukov with our Centaur here. Alternatively, we can do side arc of this Thunderbolt. And I think that's the way to go. Let's get into the side arc here. This should be its weakened side. Yes, indeed it is. And let's see what we get out of that. That's some really good clustering in that torso. We don't penetrate the armor, though. However, this side is very weak. No doubt about that. Okay, phase 23 is going to be the Valkyrie 2. The Valkyrie 2, next round, we can hit the rear arc with our Centaur. But I want to see it kill this Stalker. No, don't go for the Grasshopper. That's a terrible idea. Go for the Stalker. Come on. So our Hoplite, who do we want to drop artillery on? Honestly, it would be the Zukov. Our heat is pretty up there. We don't want to fire our ER medium laser. But beyond that, this looks pretty good here. Let's soften up the Zukov's rear arc.
Let's go.
That is actually a significant softening in the rear arc. That Zukov is vulnerable at this point. The Marauder finally turns the turrets online. Okay, that's exciting. And then it also fires on the Zukov's rear arc. So the Zukov is taking quite a beating in that rear arc. It's not going to last too much longer. More firing on the Valkyrie here. This is kind of irrelevant with the Infernal rockets into the water. Like, that's not going to do too much. What I really want to see here is the Thunderbolt position here and go for the kill on that Stalker. Softening up the rear arc of the Valkyrie there is okay, I suppose.
I hear ya.
The Trebuchet at this point is going to advance slightly forward.
Got it.
And we are going to hit the rear arc of this Zukov. This could potentially kill it, but I think it's pretty unlikely. Yeah. So just continuing to soften that up. It is now very softened. The Stalker going for the front arc of the Valkyrie makes the Stalker actually a little bit more vulnerable at that angle to the Thunderbolt coming here and then firing front arc.
Receiving you.
Which is exactly what I want to see it do. Going to advance forward with the Shadowhawk here, checking the Dragoon hit odds, but we're going to go with the Zukov.
Engaging.
Again, I don't necessarily expect a kill here, but the Zukov's rear armor is getting very weak indeed. It's almost gone. 7 HP in that rear arc. The Grasshopper moves up, fires on the Dragoon, and actually gets a lot of hits there. That was really solid for a Dragoon attack. I like it. Next up is going to be phase 17. Who do they move in phase 17? The Pegasus. Ideal for us would be the Pegasus comes over here and engages the Stalker. I want that Stalker dead. Can we attack the Stalker? I don't know if we can attack the Stalker. Okay, it went for the Prowler without moving. I don't like that call. So next up would be our crossbow, which I'm going to position here.
Roger.
Now, with that structure exposure on the Dragoon, I want to take down the Dragoon. This should do the trick. Anything hitting there will kill it. And there we go. Kaboom. -1 Dragoon. So next up, we want to probably take out the Zukov. I would really like them to attack this Stalker. It's very vulnerable. But I don't know if we can attack it. So they're going for the Thunderbolt here. That's a structure exposure on the Thunderbolt. Normally, I would be excited about that, but I kind of want the Thunderbolt to survive here.
On my way.
I'm going to position the Rifleman here, and we're going to fire on that Zukov's rear arc. This could easily kill it. And indeed it does.
Hostile eliminated.
Okay. So next up, they move the Thunderbolt. Please kill the Stalker. It positioned correctly. It's going for the stalker. It does not get the kill. Okay.
Waiting for orders.
Next will be our grasshopper. I'm not going to fire on these guys. I'm just going to move the grasshopper a bit forward to be prepared to fire on them. Same with the Black Knight. I'm going to stop shooting at these units for now until either they die to the turrets, which could happen, or... Oh, please don't stray shot us. You stray shot us twice with those PPCs. That's very rude. Arm destruction on the Valkyrie. Okay.
For House Arano.
We are not going for the kill here. We are disengaging the Centaur up this direction. And we'll see what the allied unit here does. This is going to be phase 23. That's that Marauder. Going for the Valkyrie. Okay, a little bit of damage there. Now the Valkyrie moves. Ideal for us, the Valkyrie engages here, melee attacks the Stalker, and kills it. That would be ideal. It's got an ER PPC and an LRM 10, which is not great for that, but, you know. It goes for the Prowler. Yuck. Can we kill the Stalker? Maybe.
Receiving you.
I'm going to position the crossbow here for now.
Firm.
Yeah, we can't target the Stalker directly. But what we can do is refuse to fire at these guys. Now, to be clear, they'll die pretty easily. They will definitely die pretty easily. The Fenrir is going to go for the Thunderbolt rear arc. It does not get the kill. And we're going to use our hoplite here to go for the Valkyrie in Thumper artillery mode. Or rather, in direct fire mode. This will do splash damage to the Stalker.
Target confirmed.
In fact, we straight up hit the Stalker there. We did kill the Valkyrie, which was not necessarily ideal. The Stalker definitely took some damage there. We might not be able to have the Stalker die here, which would be sad. It's so close.
Reporting.
One thing we can definitely do is we can... Is there still an attack ground? Yes, there is. Okay. Do this. Okay, I was just checking to see if stray shots would hit the Stalker there. It didn't happen. Grasshopper moves up, does not fire. I want this Thunderbolt to attack the Stalker, and it could very easily kill this thing. So I want the Thunderbolt to survive until next round. There are 2 allied units that are going to move. So they attack the Pegasus. That's okay. We can definitely continue to attack the Pegasus. The Pegasus moves this round. So it's an enemy turn right now. The Thunderbolt backs off. I really don't like that directionality. It goes for the Centaur of all things. Please don't do that. Please go for the Stalker. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next up, our Black Knight is going to walk up this direction. We're going to position to attack this Pegasus. It's down in the water, so that's mildly awkward. The Stalker is going to go rear arc on that Thunderbolt and might well kill it here. It does not. Okay, that is a good thing for us, actually. Because next round, we're going to be able to drop artillery on this Stalker again. We can attack the Stalker with artillery, but we can't really attack it too much with other things. But we can try. We can definitely try. I want that Stalker dead. They're continuing to attack the Prowler MTV with the Pegasus, which is, I suppose, expected. And at this point, we are going to need to move our Trebuchet. Okay. We can lob some missiles at this Pegasus, or we can once again attempt an attack ground on this Stalker. I don't expect this to... Wait, left alt-click on friendly to target friendly units. I didn't read that previously. Left alt plus click on friendly to target friendly units. Okay, so I guess we have to have this active and attack like that.
Special delivery.
Okay, that definitely works.
Gotcha.
So that killed the Stalker. Beautiful. Does that make any of these guys unfriendly? No. So that's definitely a thing that we've learned. I like it. Let's hit this Thunderbolt, and that is very likely to do at least heavy damage to the Thunderbolt.
The Cobra strikes.
Yeah, the Thunderbolt is not going to last long at this point. But now that the Stalker is dead, we are
Standing by.
completely fine with eliminating all of these enemy
Location
units.
confirmed.
Light him up.
Copy that.
Excellent.
Let's go.
So now all that's left is the Pegasus. And most of the turrets can't hit the Pegasus where it's at. We can position our Centaur here and hit the Pegasus's rear arc,
Moving out.
which could theoretically kill it, but probably won't.
Follow my lead.
Yeah. Didn't do enough damage in that arc.
LRMs are out.
We definitely do want to drop artillery on this if we can. In artillery mode, it's underwater, but this is probably okay. Indeed. So that seems fine for now.
Let's do this.
Next up is phase 22. The Marauder moves up. It doesn't really have the capability of attacking. The crossbow can position here, and we can fire indirect at this Pegasus, getting some additional armor damage in there. Phase 21, that's the Grasshopper. It definitely can't attack.
Receiving you.
Our Rifleman, again, is in the category of definitely can't attack when it's down this hill.
Good to go.
Our Trebuchet, however, definitely can. And we'll definitely do that. There's a lot of definitelys going on right now. I'm very happy about discovering how to destroy friendly units, though. That is very good. That is very, very good. So that Pegasus just got a structure exposure.
No sweat.
We would like it to die before it moves, because it could potentially do a lot of damage, actually, to our Centaur, now that I think about it. That Fenrir is probably going to get the kill, though. Excellent. Okay, so that is phenomenal. That should be it. All targets eliminated. Let's get out of here. Okay, so the LRM-3 was destroyed in our Centaur, but that doesn't actually matter to us, because that'll just automatically get replenished. It's the ammo that's the concern. So that's absolutely okay. I don't mind that. Now the question is, can we actually salvage that Stalker? Surely that... well, maybe that's something that RogueTech allows. Also, did we lose anything here for friendly fire? Remarkably, no. So we got 720,000 C-bills for that. The Centaur here, I believe, did take some... maybe it didn't actually lose the LRM-3. That's fine. It would have come back anyway. Either way. So that's absolutely fine. Now, we see that there's this Bandersnatch here. We could grab that. What else do we have here? Do we have any Stalker parts? No. Okay. So we're not able to salvage the friendly unit. That makes sense. We have to give that back. That's fine. It was worth a try. Maybe we take this Bandersnatch. Those are good hard points. I wouldn't mind that. We could maybe outfit this one to replace the Rifleman, which is already kind of awkward. So at this point, we've got lots of salvage remaining. We could take the two AC-10s. I kind of want the UAC-10, though. So we'll take that. How many AC-10s do we have? I mean, these are AC-10 federated. We'll take one of those. Ferrofibrous armor. I'm not sure that actually dropped correctly. It did not. What do we got going on here? Let's just update that. There we go. That was a little bugged. Ferrofibrous armor goes in there. There we go. And then we could take a caseless AC-10 or just UAC-10 ammo for that UAC-10. Okay, we'll confirm that for now. What else did we end up getting out of that? A large laser? But sure, we'll take a Bandersnatch. That's absolutely great. So what do we want to do with that Bandersnatch? I'm thinking about replacing the Rifleman with it. It'll add an additional 15 tons that we can work with. We'll see what state it's in. That's going to be the big question right now. Of course, getting that repaired and good to go is going to be expensive, but we've got a bit of a war chest built up. That'll be fine. We do have a fairly expensive monthly report coming up, but it's okay. It's okay. What other mechs would we potentially be interested in replacing with this Marauder? Well, it has 3 missile hardpoints. It doesn't seem that different from the normal variants, indeed. So, yeah, go ahead and do that, Yang. That is absolutely fine. We may want to replace our Trebuchet, actually. We'll see what it's got on it by default. So let's hop into the mech bay here. And we're going to refit this guy. It's actually not in that bad of shape. Okay. We do lose the Engine XL and the double heatsink kit, which is a little sad. Okay, let's just do this, and we're probably... One of the missile hardpoints is in the head. That's not a great place for a missile hardpoint if we want to turn this into a missile boat. There are some interesting options that we have available here, including putting an Arrow 4 on this. What's the knockdown chance of that? There is no knockdown chance for Arrow 4? Or no, that's the Arrow 4 ammo. Hang on. We want to look at the actual Arrow 4, which is here. We'd only have 5 shots. 10% chance for knockdown and 20% chance for knockdown in artillery mode. Okay. Sure. So that's an interesting option, for sure. We have some other options here. So this is definitely, it's already got ferrofibrous armor on it. What do we have for engine cores? Do we have an Engine XL available? Probably not. Do we want to utilize an Engine XL? Also, maybe not. We could put an Engine Core 280 in this. That would put us at 12 tons remaining. Okay, let's just strip all of the equipment off of here for now. Put in an Engine Core 280, and that gives us 30 tons to work with. I'm currently leaning towards this being oddly a missile boat. This is a stock load out here. I'm wondering what the quirk is. It's stable, +1 evasion, ignore, and +1 gunnery, and minus 20% stability damage taken. So that's not really a big reason to not make this a missile boat. Okay, let's max out the armor quick. That puts us at 27 tons to work with. What do we have available for missiles right now? So that would end up being... We have one LRM-20, one LRM-15, and an LRM-5. The LRM-10 is 2 slots. So in the head, we basically have to go with an LRM-5 if this is to be a missile boat. Then we could put an LRM-20 here and an LRM-15 out here, which would later be upgraded to an LRM-20. Something along the lines of that. So that creates a sort of LRM-20 from the two of them mixed together. So that's reasonably fine. But we still have a fair amount of tonnage to work with. So we have the Artemis 4 adapter. How many of those do we have? We have 3. Okay. It'll add new weapons. Does this... Yeah, this requires Artemis ammo. Do we have Artemis ammo is a question that needs to be asked at this point. So if we don't have Artemis ammo, we do. We do have LRM ammo Artemis, so that's fine. Each of these would be essentially 6 shots, so this would be 6 shots right here. So this would be essentially 9 shots, right? because it's split between the two. So it would be something along the lines of that. So 9 rounds of ammo for the LRMs. Beyond that, we have 3 tons to work with. And that's assuming an engine core 280, which honestly, if this is going to be a missile boat, we probably don't need a 280. We can probably go down to like a small engine, like even a 100, but that's probably not what we would aim for. Maybe something like a 180, which would give us 13 tons to work with. We are at 7 out of 10 required heat sinks, which is fine. That's something we'll get to eventually. For now, we can think about long-range weaponry, right? So we've got a couple of ballistic and laser hardpoints that we can work with. So I'd like to have, ideally, something like a UAC-5 is maybe a little too heavy. That's not a light AC-5 tooltip. There you go. That's more like it. So there are a few options here. We could go for like ER large lasers for the direct fire. That is an option. I'm kind of leaning towards wanting to get like... Okay, this is going to be way too much weight. But like the UAC-10, UAC-5... This is going to be way, way, way too much weight, to be clear. And then we would go for like something insane. Like ER large lasers in these slots. That's definitely insane. And then medium lasers in these other slots. We don't actually have any medium lasers. What if these were ERPPCs? That would be even worse, of course, for the tonnage. This is all very not going to happen, right? Because we can't have that level of weight. But what we can do is have it be laser-based. So that would end up being something kind of like this, where we're ideally not going to be firing the ER medium lasers most of the time. We're even probably not going to be firing the ER large lasers a lot of the time. We do have a double heatsink kit. Do we have any double heatsinks? No, and we require 3 external heatsinks here. So that's not going to work, but as a hypothetical, if we were to put that in, yeah, that doesn't even budge the heat efficiency. The heat efficiency is going to be really low if we actually fire all of these weapons, and that's not necessarily the idea. So we need to put some heat sinks onto this. We need to put on 1, 2, 3, and that gives us all of our free heat sinks, right? We could just drop the ER medium lasers and convert those over to heat sinks, and that's probably the smart thing to do at this point. That would end up looking something kind of like this. We could drop a little bit of leg armor here to bring us up to 1 ton. Something like this. This should not be taking heavy damage. It'll be sitting pretty far back. So something like this would be relatively acceptable. That would give us another space for a heatsink. Now, our heat efficiency is still very, very low. Our heat delta is 62. Those ER large lasers are a lot of heat. And I don't think that they're necessarily a good fit for this mech. So I'm going to drop the ER large lasers. That gives us 10 tons to work with. And we can think about ballistic weaponry to put on here. So what do we have that would be about 4 tons? We don't have any AC-2s. AC-2s would be about ideal. A single light AC-5 would kind of do the trick. Of course, the UAC-10, we could have just one of them. Or rather, the UAC-5. We could have just one of them. That gives us 1 ton remaining. And then we could have 1 ton of UAC-5 ammo. Which would be how many shots? Let's see. Do we not have UAC-5 ammo? We don't have UAC-5 ammo. Okay, that is unfortunate for us. So the UAC-5 isn't going to be a thing. In that case, what would we end up wanting? I mean, the HVAC 20 would be funny, but we don't have the tonnage for it. This would be a replacement for the Trebuchet and would be a straight upgrade to the Trebuchet in its current state. What if we just went for medium lasers? in these slots and ignored the ballistic hardpoints for right now. So this would be, they would have to be ER medium lasers, which will be a lot of heat. That is understood. So ER medium lasers would go in over here. Most of the time, these ER mediums would not be fired. This would be mostly about the LRMs. But then that would allow us to put on, and we should probably put a, like, missile range FCS in this. That would be fine. And maybe a, like, cockpit voice, since we've got that available. Yeah, that seems okay. Maybe we even put in a Beagle probe, but I suspect we're going to want all the heat sinks we can get from here. So I'm going to put in a couple of heat sinks over this way. We have 3 tons remaining, so we can do something like that. That puts our heat delta, if we're alpha striking this, at 53 heat. Obviously, we can dial that back by not firing ER medium lasers. Those are not necessarily intended to even be fired. They're kind of backup weapons. So for the time being, that seems okay. It's not that expensive either. I mean, that's potentially a lot of damage. Long-range damage of 330? Yeah. We'll give it a go. It does not have an undamaged ammo bin for the LRM-5. Yeah, it wouldn't, because the LRM-5 can't use Artemis ammo. So we would need specifically ammo for the LRM-5, which a half ton of LRM ammo is likely about what we'd want to go for there. So if we did that, and then we dropped 1 heatsink, and then maxed out this armor, what would that put us at? 0.125 tons? That's probably close enough. I mean, our heat efficiency is going to be down a little lower, but that's fine. We want to upgrade this to double heat sinks eventually, and we want to upgrade this to an LRM-20 eventually. So this is definitely not the final form of this. But let's get that going. It has unused tonnage, but 0.125 tons we're not going to get to use. Right. So that's okay for the moment. How long is that going to take? 28 days. That's fine. Let's get our 2 Marauders at the priority point, something like that, and then we'll get these repairs done. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to get those repairs done. We're going to take this financial report. That wasn't that expensive to get that online, so that looks good. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.